Good morning, everyone. It's a Friday, so I hope you are looking forward to the weekend, a weekend of rest. But don't forget, we still got work to do. And here on Agenda, we begin by saying thank you. Thank you for being with us all throughout the week, and thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and viewers of One News here on Channel 8 or Channel 250. And syempre, maraming salamat for those of you who watch us via Facebook and YouTube, to our friends abroad who always try to catch our episodes. Maraming salamat po, particularly our friends who are missionaries of every nation abroad. Ayan, mabuti na yung nabati na kayo, because some people are saying, kaway ako ng kaway, hello ako, hindi mo ko binabati. Paano kita babatiin? Sa TV ka kumakaway. Okay, anyway, good morning everyone. It's March 3, 2023. And today, let's begin our day with our daily starter, which comes from the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verses 25 to 27. And it goes, "Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. Don't get sidetracked." Okay, while some of you, some people say, Cito, book of Proverbs, book of Psalms, Bible, etc. I was just listening to the well-known, globally recognized American comedian Steve Harvey. And he said, I'm not much of a Bible memory guy, but give me the book of Psalms and the book of Proverbs so I can have wisdom. And our daily starter today is a reminder not only for our viewers, but even for myself, because many times we want to do something important, we want to do something we've always dreamed of, but there are too many distractions in life, too many responsibilities or attractions, and also because we don't have a plan, we don't focus on the plan, we don't walk towards the goal, and we just kept, kumbaga, pa-jab, and then we wonder why we never get to any point. So that's just a reminder to all of you. Please be focused and stay on the safe side. It's not, life has risks already. Don't take big gambles. Okay, now let's go to the news. As far as the Philippine Star is concerned, here goes the front page for March 3, 2023. The headline, I hope I have it right. The headline, "Hazing Death Prompts Call to Scrap ROTC Plan," saying it has the same destructive hazing culture that dominated school-based fraternities in the country. The Alliance of Concerned Teachers urged yesterday government officials to drop plans to reinstate the mandatory ROTC or Reserve Officers Training Corps program. Okay, yan po yung headline. And behind that headline, we have this huge photo on the center of the Philippine Star. To begin with, students and faculty members attend a mass for hazing victim John Matthew Salilig at the Adamson University. Yan po, lahat sila, dami nila dyan. And then, as you can read on the screen, criminal raps filed versus 6 frat men. Those are those guys in orange. Yan po ang new fashion color of the century. Orange. Merong movie about orange. Those are the suspects who participated allegedly in the hazing of Mr. Halilig. And sadly, that other photo are the relatives of John who met his remains at the Zamboanga Andrews Air Base. Okay, yan po. Edwin Andrews Air Base in Zamboanga City. I'm sorry, my mistake. So yan po, no? Those are all related to the hazing of that student from Adamson University who was found dead with 70 hits in his body. At the top of the front page, the announced week-long jeepney strike will push through, okay? But I just want to reassure everybody, it is not a total strike. Many groups for the jeepney operators and drivers have said they will not punish their customers or commuters by doing the strike. So suporta sila sa complaints ng kapwa driver pero they don't agree in doing a strike. Meanwhile, the Department of Energy announced or declares no summer blackouts. There should be no rotational blackouts this summer, despite expectations of thin power reserves leading to yellow alerts. Okay, that is from DOE Undersecretary Rowena Guevara. Okay, and on the other side of the top of the front page, government crafting guidelines for joint patrols. Given the fact that several countries have already expressed intention to conduct joint patrols with the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea or the China, ano ba yun? Hindi ko na matawag na China Sea, okay? South China Sea, okay? The government is now putting together guidelines so that if and when they start doing those patrols, they have a rule book. So that's a good idea. Meanwhile, further in the bottom of the front page, Philippines reaffirms continuing commitment to human rights. In case you may have noticed, every other day when we read the news, there is something new or reforms that the DOJ is presenting in terms of the detention, the bail, the cases that are being filed that may not prosper, etc. In other words, the DOJ is introducing clear reforms as far as filing of cases are concerned in terms of bail, blah, blah, blah. And this is all in line to show the United Nations, UN Human Rights Commission or Council that the Philippines has a system and that it is working. Ayun. May nagsabi nga, pati yung voluntary resignation of generals are all part of the design to show the world and the ICC in particular that the system works and that the government is in control. Okay, now, no more jackets, pockets for NAIA screeners. Okay, medyo ito yung sinasabing reaction. After a NAIA screener or transport security a personnel was caught stealing the watch of a tour traveler at the NAIA during the X-ray screening. It has been announced that by Cesar Chong, Manila International Airport Authority General Manager, that no longer will allow wearing of uniforms or jackets that have pockets in them to prevent more incidents, okay, of yung mga theft, etc. Okay. Meanwhile, GCash CEO banners financial inclusion story in MWC 2023 plenary. GCash President and CEO Marta Sazon banners the Filipinos' journey to financial inclusion and progress in her keynote address at the acclaimed Mobile World Congress 2023 in Barcelona, Spain. Headlining the plenary, Sazon shared the GCash story of providing accessible digital services that transform the nation and help improve lives. Okay, that's a very nice story to hear because sa totoo naman po, malaking bagay yung GCash, yung Grab, yung Lalamove. They have made my life much more efficient and easy. Okay, last but not the least, to show that they're doing their job, 19,000 cases of smuggled cigarettes seized in Sulu. Okay, ayan po, no? That's a photo there, imported cigarettes with an approximate value, medyo ewan ko lang kung totoo itong value na ito, of 1.425 billion were seized from a warehouse in Indanan, Sulu yesterday. Yan, okay. Excuse me. So, yun po. That's the wrap-up of the front page of the Philippine Star. And we do hope that you would buy a copy, a physical copy, or go online and check out the digital version of the Philippine Star. You can also read about my column Monday, Wednesday, and Friday entitled C-Talk inside the opinion section. Okay. Let's now go straight to our interview, and today we are going to be speaking to the new president of the Management Association of the Philippines, with whom we regularly consult and seek opinion and thoughts from, because they are a bunch of executives that lead the biggest companies or are prominent in Philippine society. So, Gabriel, if you would, please roll out the Betamax.
Atty. Benedicta Du-Baladad is the current president of the Management Association of the Philippines. She is also the founding partner and CEO of the Du-Baladad and Associates Law. Aside from being a multi-awarded lawyer, Du-Baladad is named by the Asia Business Law Journal as one of the top lawyers in the country.
Okay, good morning, attorney. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Cito, and thank you for inviting us here today.
Okay, conversation lang tayo, mama. Hindi tayo question and answer. Baka sabihin mo, nasa sala tayo, nasa korte, patay ako.
Yeah, I think that would be a more relaxed setting.
Yeah, kasi medyo after so many years of interviewing people, I can immediately sense when someone is about to go formal with me. And it's like, no, whatever you do, don't go down that road. Okay. So, I was told that you're now the new president of the Management Association of the Philippines. Now, but the question is, how does one get elected by such a body of esteemed, respected executives of the country?
I guess it takes years to be in that position. First, there is respect in the community. Especially in the business sector, you must have been able to do something for people to elect you to be there, no? Mm-hmm. So if you look at MAP, in fact, you mentioned one just earlier, which is Martha Sazon. Martha Sazon is a governor of MAP, and she represents the next generation. But if you look at the total membership, it's about 1,100 business leaders. And from here, you see people like Fred Pascual, who was the president last year and now the DTI secretary. Mm-hmm. He was replaced by Babe Singson, who used to be the secretary of the DPWH, right? Yeah. And then from our ranks also would be Bobby Romulo, who used to be the Secretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs. So that's the mix. And you have all these big guys from the business sector.
Now, is this a situation that where you sought the position, or is it something that, wow, this would be a feather on my cap, or were you voluntold? Kumbaga.
Oh, it's not. It's a difficult process. First, there is this nomination process. Okay, so they will nominate, all the members will nominate names, and from the nominated names, they will select the highest 10, and from the highest 10, there's again another voting, and then there's another voting again for the presidency or officership.
Okay.
So it's a series of nominations and voting.
Okay, but how independent? I'm not casting as doubts on the process or the integrity of the MAP, no. But how independent is that process of political pressure? Because you have 1,100 plus members, all leading big companies, corporations. And I'm sure that every now and then there will be a tendency or a whisper by some politician, pare, wag si ganito, troublemaker yan, or nako, mahirap katrabaho yan, etc.
No, whether we are, I think what you're driving at is whether there would be like a pressure from the government on who to elect. I don't think you cannot pressure the MAP, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that because we are also prohibited from campaigning, no?
Okay.
You cannot campaign. The moment you are announced as one of the nominees, you cannot even appear on stage. You cannot even give or release a write-up or something until the election is done. So there's no campaigning. I think it's very objective. It's all based on, I would say, who the people want to lead them.
Okay. Now, having said that, okay, so it's very independent. It's very safe and secured that there is no undue influence. But what about who they choose? Because there are associations where they choose candidates who have the mindset aligned with the philosophy of an association. There are groups that choose a leader or their president who fits a certain expectation that, kumbaga, kailangan natin, we need someone who is a fighter, or we need someone who is vocal, or we need someone who has very charming personality katulad ni Cito Beltran.
Yeah. I think it's a mix of many things, okay?
Okay.
And it's something based on a build-up reputation of who you are, okay, and what you want to do. So, for example, there are those that have championed a certain cause, and that's what the people want, the members want. So they vote him for that. And I think it's all about also, can you deliver? It's all about pushing forward the mandate for management excellence. And can you deliver if you are the president? Can you bring the people together to work on that mandate?
Mm-hmm. Well, what exactly is the MAP all about? I mean, I've interviewed so many of your presidents, your members separately, but I have to confess that has never really been dealt with intensely. What is MAP all about? Are you just about taking a stand on business-related issues? What is the social agenda of MAP?
Well, if you look at our mission, okay, it's about pushing for management excellence. It's management excellence. And that is why sometimes you see us pushing for issues, because it's about management. No?
Mm-hmm.
In a certain department, for example, of a government, there we would see that there would be improvement in management, and so we take a position. So it's very simple. It's about management excellence.
Okay, now many associations are great at talking or addressing issues outside of their wall, but they're really bad at reflecting what's inside their household. So, like in the case of management, sorry, no, in the case of management in the Philippines, where are we? Because many of the big companies are family owned. So I have friends who tell me, Cito, don't talk about management to a Chinese Filipino company or to a Filipino family owned corporation because the only management is the father or the mother.
Yes, yes. Especially for family-owned corporations. But still, we try because there are principles that we try to teach even for family-owned corporations, especially when you talk of succession and growth, because we always see that, the first generation will build the business, the second generation manage, the third generation stash away. That's what we thought, no? And we're trying to reverse that. So right now we are bringing in actually the next generation into our ranks so that they can see how true management really is. And if I may say, those next generation are very open, they are educated well, and they are very aggressive, or they pursue things that their forefathers may not have seen. No?
Okay, well, you touched a rather sensitive chord there for me because I belong to that generation or that bunch of people who, we grew up. I don't know if you were part of that. You seem to be young enough. People who were told, don't mess with the adults. You stay in your room, or just study, go to school. Don't you're not part of this business. Don't interfere. Medyo sorry, no, meron pa ring emosyon eh. No? May sama pa ng loob eh.
I think somehow, yes. But I was lucky enough to have a mother who really allowed us to go mix, discuss things. My mother is a public school teacher, par excellence. She is not, though, the traditional one. She likes
Okay.
her children to go out, explore things, and that perhaps may be the difference.
Okay, you're what about the women's issue? Because being a woman, being the president of MAP, is that reflecting the direction of MAP towards women in management? Because recently I came across a documentary on a Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I think it was Ginsburg, and her life was really all about fighting the inequality at the workplace, finding slots for women, opportunities for women. What is the situation as far as women in management is concerned in the Philippines?
Cito, based on experience, if I have to tell you this, they normally say there is this glass ceiling. I
Yeah.
haven't seen any glass ceiling. I think mine is extraordinary in the sense that I don't feel the gender inequality. I don't feel the glass ceiling. In fact, it was the men who were rooting for me to go up. But that is just one case, no? The rest, I think, as I hear it, would still feel the inequality. And so there are many women organizations now pushing for example, a legislated number of directors in companies, so that women can rise also to the top and contribute their expertise or their talents to business. And we continue to open up. So that is why even women leaders like me, we try to achieve something for others to follow. That, it can be done, it can be done. So we try to open gates through our own examples.
Mhm. Okay, now you were talking about pushing for excellence in management, etc. Under your watch, what are going to be your priorities? Because I just glanced here at your background. I mean, you're a lawyer, you're an accountant. You were with the BIR at one point?
Yes, my early years, I was there.
Okay, medyo parang daming ginawa nitong alin to ah.
Yeah, I was there at one.
Okay, what
Anyway, let
in
me
your
talk. Okay.
yeah. Go,
Let me
what
talk about what we try to do.
Okay,
Of course,
go
the
ahead.
women thing is still there, no? So, okay, what we try to do now is two-pronged. One is organize the house. We have to build our internal strength to be able to deliver on our mandate, to push for management excellence, and to push for the advocacies that we have. So that the first thing we did actually is to bring in the next generation. When we have the CEOs at our average age actually is 59. Okay, so most of them are past 60s, 70s. Then there is this new generation that is coming in now, and we're trying to encourage them to mix with the traditional CEOs.
Mhm.
But there you would really feel that generation gap. No, sometimes they don't see eye to eye. Sometimes there is no meeting of the minds. They have the same purpose, but the procedures, the way they do it, the way they look at it are just different. So we said we have to close this generational gap so that we can harness the ideas of the new younger generation on which the expertise of the traditional organization can hinge on. So what we did is try to force it by making that every committee, by the way, we have 30 committees, Cito,
Mhm.
and by making them vice chairman of every committee. And that would force them to be active, to be on the same discussion table as our traditional CEOs.
Mhm.
So since we have 30 committees, it's so difficult also to bring them to focus on a direction that is clear. So what we did is and this is the first time that we have introduced this, we clustered them, no? We have
Mhm.
clustered them into, we call it bridge. One is building resiliency, innovation. D is for diversity, and then growth and people development. And we have this ESG. So we have grouped them into those clusters so that they can collaborate, they can coordinate, they can focus on one direction, and supposedly it's a big direction that they will make it as their project. So that is the first thing we did.
Mhm.
Organize the house, bring in the younger ones, mix them with the older ones, and have this pool where we can have a free-flowing exchange and generate ideas. After all, it is all about ideas, new ideas.
Yeah.
Bring in. So yeah, that's the first thing we did. So if you look at it, there's still this woman factor there of like organizing your home, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, that is so motherly in
Yeah.
one sense. Okay, children, go to the sala. I want all of you to sit down and we will separate assignments, etc. But here's the thing, attorney. In the occasions where I've been asked as a consultant to step in, especially in that kind of a problem, I have pinpointed that it is fear versus impatience. It is ignorance versus lack of compassion. So the young people tend to be less compassionate, or at least during those days, they don't want aggressive. No, you just have to fire all of those incompetents, etc., and get the show moving. And the elders or the parents or the company owners are, on the other hand, is like, what the hell are you talking about all of these systems and projections, etc.? So I tell them, sit down. Before you even go to the boardroom, can you go to the nearest Chinese restaurant and spend lunch there and dinner for 1 week and get to talk about all the other things except the office? That is what I've noticed. There is no relationship. They presume anak ko, pamangkin ko, or a long-term employee. They presume they already have a relationship, but when you analyze, they don't have relationships. They're just associates.
Yeah, that is why we're trying to bring them together, because this young generation can learn from the values of the older generation,
Mhm.
and the way they do work. I mean, they're not wrong. The old traditional organization CEOs are not also wrong, but both of them have their strength, and they can share. And in short, it's like there is cross-pollination.
Mhm. Okay.
We want to do a cross-pollination.
Yeah, well, mix is sometimes, hybrid is sometimes stronger than the pure form, especially if the pure form is a defective. Anyway, attorney, let's go for a quick break, and then I'd like to go back to your experience, and of course, what about MAP, and what will its position or character be in the coming year, particularly in a time when there have been a lot of complaints from the private sector regarding corruption, regarding red tape, etc. We'll be right back after this quick break here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and this morning we are featuring the new president of the Management Association of the Philippines. And just as a background, she is the founding partner and CEO of the Du-Baladad and Associates Law Office. She is a multi-awarded lawyer named as a national leader for Southeast Asia corporate tax in the 2022 edition of who's who legal and thought leaders, and is consistently ranked by Asia Business Law Journal as one of the Philippines' top 100 lawyers. Okay, someone I need to be very good friends with just in case. Okay, let's welcome back Attorney Benedicta Du-Baladad. Welcome back, Attorney, and I'm sure you get asked this question quite often. It's a personal question, but Du-Baladad, is that your maiden name and your married name? Is it the name of your husband? Medyo, it's the first time I've heard of this name.
No, Du is my maiden name. It's a Chinese name. Baladad is my husband's name. But you would notice most lawyers, they do dash Baladad. There is a dash. The reason being, when we are accepted in the bar, in the role of attorneys, we are accepted when we were not yet married. Okay, so we're using our maiden name. So the role that appears there is your maiden name, and when you get married, then you attach your married name. So
Okay.
Du-Baladad is my maiden and married name combined.
Okay, now what about the nickname Dick? Because I saw in the picture Dick
Yes.
Du-Baladad. Sabi ko, ano ba naman pangalan niyan? Siga, masyadong astig.
So from Benedicta, they used to, when I was young, my nickname was Dicta. But my father said, masyado ka nang nagiging diktador. So, so they said, wag ka nang, Dick na lang, Dick. But of course, when you are introducing yourselves to foreigners, I don't call it, I am Dick, because they would look at me, what, Dick? And you see a different, so I said,
Connotation.
I'm Benedicta. I'm Benedicta, yes.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I couldn't help my curiosity, so I had to ask that. Okay, going back to your presidency of MAP, one of the things that I have been pushing as far as the business sector is concerned is a change in attitude and getting rid of the fear factor among business owners. This was in the past because I was telling many business owners, it's only in this country where the business people are bullied or are intimidated by politicians. In other countries, it is the politician who respect and honor the business because that's where the economy gets its life. But lately, I've noticed a change of attitude. There are more and more businesses and corporations who have spoken out, like MAP, and also in my capacity as a journalist, companies have been sending me information, detailed information about what they are encountering on the ground. Now, as far as MAP is concerned, is this part of your programs to encourage people to step up and speak out?
Oh, yes, very much so. But it's not only about speaking up. It's about what can we do as an organization. So, Cito, we did a quick survey of the top concerns of businessmen in November last year.
Mm-hmm.
And what came out as number one is ease of doing business. And from there, we have coordinated with ARTA, working closely with them on what can be done. And as we drill down further, ano bang ease of doing business? Ang number one concern, it's local government, doing business with local government. And so we have adopted a program. The Innovations Committee and Ease of Doing Business Committee have joined together to bring our tech startups and adopt an LGU. And that LGU will become a pilot for their projects to digitize of a smart, not just a smart, but a digitized LGU, feature it constantly. And I hope you can help us here on this aspect.
Okay.
Because I think from our understanding, if there is one good model, the others naturally would want to go up, no? and join the bandwagon.
Mhm.
So we were talking about that together with Martha Zazon, and let's see what Martha Zazon can do, because she is the governor in charge of that. So they're trying to get a LGU, make it digitized to address the ease of doing business, and then promote it, and then at the end of the day make like a recognition or awarding for awareness that this LGU is really doing good, and have the businesses go to their places.
Okay, well, that is certainly going to be an important project, but the public impression is digitalizing an LGU. And I did interview the head of the ARTA here on the program, and what came across was it was more of business registration, licensing, permits, etc., and which is, of course, the bulk of the concerns and engagements with LGUs. But is that really going to be the game changer? Because some people are saying, registration, digitalization is just one headache. There are 100 other headaches, such as so many rules, so many laws, etc.
What you will eliminate, actually, when you digitize it, would be the human factor that would intervene in processes, and therefore the corruption will be greatly reduced. No, well, that's one, and it becomes more friendly. Processes will become more friendly, and it's not just about the business. We would be looking at other things like health processes, okay, availing of your health services, for example, and all those things. In short,
I mean, Attorney Dick, I have to commend you on that one and encourage your group, because many Filipinos, lalo na po yung mga naka-cellphone laang sa bundok, no, or whatever, many Filipinos don't even understand their rights under PhilHealth. Many Filipinos suffer in silence and in poverty, believing that in order to go to a public hospital, they have to know someone. It's the decade-age-old patronage politics that has embedded in these people na their rights are all in the hands of politicians. So your group starting that thing about health connectivity, etc., please do that, because madalas ako sa probinsya, and yung pumipila medyo madalas din humihingi ng tulong, not knowing what to do.
Yes, thank you for that, Cito.
So how are you going to go about it?
Well, last week we were done with the clusters meeting, and that's one of the projects that we will do. Now, I think this week the group will be presenting what they will do. But this is a group of young men and women that are tech savvy, including the tech startups that are trying to come up with solutions, really, that they can contribute to the society.
Okay. Now, you have 6 priority programs. You already shared the one about bridging internal strengths, focus, and then the next one is focus on resiliency and recovery. What are we talking about? Internal or resiliency and recovery for business?
Resiliency and recovery for the whole country. Business, of course. We always look at what we can do as businessmen for the country, okay? And I'm very proud to say that for this year, we will take on the flagship of pushing for shared prosperity. Meaning, as a businessman, you have to look not just on profit, and profit not just for shareholders. So the shareholder value is not just one thing that drives the business now, but your social responsibility to your country. Under the principle of shared prosperity, it's about elevating the top 40% lowest or poorest in the society to be out of poverty. Of course, That's very ambitious. So we're saying, okay, shared prosperity, make our businessmen commit that they do these practices because there are already established practices. What a company should do to embed into its business culture, into its business processes, the awareness that you should be helping your community. And number one that we have identified really that we should focus on is this campaign against malnutrition and child stunting, which is the basic, which I think is the factor why, based on a study, our children below 10 years old cannot even read and comprehend what they're reading. So maybe because of that malnutrition and stunting. So we try to focus on that. So we have grouped together our committees on agriculture, health, education, and all those. We are trying to bring to the table all the government agencies, heads of government agencies, together to discuss how we can address this. So remember, we are still in February. We are just entering March. So February was the planning time. We were trying to organize ourselves.
Okay.
But starting February, it would be a series already of action.
Okay. Allow us to go for a quick break. And when we return, I want to talk about that because I have seen how corporate social responsibility program was attacked by CEOs, and they said CSR should be self-sustaining, and next thing you know, the self-sustaining CSR transformed into another business. So, nasira yung concept of CSR. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, they say that charity begins at home, and in the past decade or so, the concept of corporate social responsibility was introduced as a sacrificial assistance of corporations to the needy and to the less privileged. Now, speaking with us is the new president of the Management Association of the Philippines, Benedicta Du-Baladad. Nabubulol ako. Pasensya ka na. Okay, attorney, we were talking about shared prosperity. Now, what is the philosophy of MAP or MAP regarding what is corporate social responsibility supposed to be? Is it sacrificial, giving, or sharing, or is it something that, as some CEOs have said, must be self-sustaining?
It should be self-sustaining. It is. It's not like, you should be sacrificial, because there are many ways of doing it. You embed it in your business, Now, as part of your business, the social consciousness as part of your business. Now, if you go into CSR and it's just one time, you donate something one time, after some time, it's drained. So it has to be self-sustaining. And that's why you were talking a while ago about, naging negosyo na. It could be a business, social enterprise. But for this, you don't get the profit. You flow it, you flow it to the operation.
You return it, reinvest it.
To reinvest it. And that's the way to do it so that you can tackle on bigger CSRs.
Okay, so it's a shared prosperity. How have members and their directors and stockholders responded to this new philosophy of shared prosperity? Kasi puro na lang annual report and gross profits, record-breaking profits. Pag sinabi mong share ka naman, ay teka, magtrabaho ka.
That is not actually new under my term, Cito. It has been there last year, and they've made corporations to commit to it. But my question when I came in is, after they committed, what did they do? I think there should be metrics. We should be able to look at it and gauge whether were they able to deliver on their commitments. So that's why this one is a continuing effort. It's a continuing education. It's a continuing campaign that we do. It's just that it is more focused now. So I was telling them, so by July, we will have a shared prosperity summit where we bring in all the stakeholders, and the end result of that should be like a blueprint for shared prosperity, where you can see all there, the doables and what have you done, the matrices, and ask them, companies to commit to it, and then there would be feedbacking. So it's a complete thing. That's what we are intending to do, because there are many projects that we think can be connected to shared prosperity.
Okay, what is the priority investment of MAP or your presidency as far as human development is concerned? We interviewed former NED Secretary Pernia on the program, and he was really an advocate for human development in the government planning. Now, what is the priority? Because just to put everything in context, no, hindi naman po madaldal ako o mayabang, para lang align tayo. My wife and I, we invest on the education of some kids, college, nursing, etc. Because my wife believes that is long-term and it has better returns in terms of uplifting a family. Once children in a family get a college degree and get jobs, the poor family gets out of poverty. What is MAP's priority?
Okay. We take it on a greater scale. Well, as I said a while ago, we try to address the basic education, the children, because we fear that we come to a point where wala nang labor. I mean, we cannot get talents anymore because puro brain drain. That's why we're trying to address, as I said, the malnutrition and child stunting. That's one. Second big project would be incorporating culture, arts, and love of country in education. So we're trying to push those two together. Of course, we have other projects about lifelong learning, etc. But when we're talking of big projects, these two are those that are selected by people and growth development group to go into.
Okay. Now, for as far as you're concerned, what are you passionately focused on or concerned with?
Now, it's really about...
on a personal and as president, ano yung talagang malapit sa puso mo?
Okay, it's actually about what I said, bringing the lower level of society out of poverty.
Well,
my personal, I set up a foundation called BDB Law Foundation Cito, where a certain portion of our revenue in the law firm goes to this. So every year, may constant revenue siya, and we are also in education. We built schools already in in far-flung areas. That's our number one, in addition to having our scholars. So, but in addition to that, of course, that's the MAP as a bigger scale would be what I have already told you. And those are my passions. No? How we can get really the poor people out of poverty. And if you look at the government's ambition 2040, where nobody is poor, I think we should all look forward to that and work forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was just curious because you are a lawyer, so an accomplished lawyer at that. So parang sinasabi ko, ano kaya yung agenda ni Ma'am regarding yung ginagawa ng DOJ now? Because that seems to be a big deal for some people.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really talked about that DOJ thing. We are focused on more other things.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to meddle unless we know really the full facts of it. Speaking like a lawyer.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And I'm not trying to make it political. It's just that, some people have come to me and said, Cito, we need to do something about certain laws like the the illegal drugs law na mahulian lang ng isang stick ng marijuana, naghihintay ng 5 years para magkaroon ng first hearing, etc. And these are brought to me by mayors, they sabi nila, we know they violated the law, but if you have to wait 5 years for your first hearing, then we have a serious problem in the country. Now, anyway, but I guess we need to think of the children, their future, and the country's future. So I'll give you a minute, ma'am, to just give your closing statement to our viewers on behalf of the Management Association of the Philippines.
Oh, thank you, Cito. I hope that you watch this episode of Cito Beltran. We have laid down our priorities, and I hope that you will help us in pushing for those priorities. Because I think those are really game-changing in terms of getting out of poverty and reaching the middle-level income country that we want to be.
Okay, attorney. Thank you very much, attorney. And attorney Benedicta Du-Baladad, president of MAP. The Lord bless you. May He bless the work of your hands, and may He grant His favor to all of your teams, all 30 groups, and sana hindi sila magsabunutan o magsigawan. Thank you very much.
It's part of the process.
Okay, God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cito.
Okay, and now let's go to our final blessing for the week, and it comes from the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 8. And God is able to make all grace abound toward you, that you, always having all sufficiency in all things, may have an abundance for every good work. Just a quick commentary, listening to attorney Benedicta Du-Baladad and her presentation of MAP made me realize that if we want to make a difference in the world, we all need to have a very different level of wealth and expertise, and the more you have in life, the more you will be able to help others if your heart is in the right place. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for watching Agenda. Please keep it here on One News, and God bless you.